Hi, I'm Leo. I'm one of the workshop leads for SWUG SolidWorks user group. So today we'll be designing the first piece of the first part in the workshops. If you guys weren't able to attend, that's completely fine. So we're just going to show you how to do it. So and like digest and break this down. So when you're in the exam, one of the sections is to design a part. What they'll do is they'll give you this drawing, something similar to this, and they'll be like, solve it. Like uh, make the part yourself, and then you're gonna be have they might ask what's the density, what's its mass, important things. So in this, what they'll give you is literally just this drawing or a drawing like this, and they'll tell you the material type, which you can see. Let's see if it'll let's escape. That's the wrong one. So here, so they'll typically give you like the drawing and the part itself, and they'll tell you the unit system, the decimal places, origin, type, oak, and then this. The density they don't give you and the mass they don't give you. They usually ask for those things. So today I'm just going to show you how I would approach this problem and break it down so uh, y'all can understand how maybe to approach a problem like this. So I'll open up SolidWorks, get to a part, new part. Awesome. It tells us that the unit system is IPS, and if one wants to change the its unit system, there's a couple different ways. You can hit the options button and go to document properties and hit units and then change it. Or you can go to IPS, right? Cool. And it tells us that our decimal places is 2 and our material type is wood and our material is oak. So I'll do that. So our decimal system places is 2. So that one you do have to go to the gear options, and then you can go to units and you can just change them. So you hit this, drop down the different units. But yeah, I'm gonna hit OK. You hit OK because we're in that. So let's get started. So we're gonna hit sketch, and then you can choose any plane to draw on. It doesn't matter, but I'm gonna do front plane. So if we look back here at the part, we'll see that we have this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at this front face. Let me just pull this up so it's better for everyone. I'm gonna be looking at the lower left one, this one with all these numbers. So I'm gonna first start with, I guess I should just mention about all the little parts that you see here. So if you see these numbers, there's a lot of numbers. It just tells us the different dimensions of everything in this drawing. So these arrows and the lines represent from where it begins and where it stops, and it's just its dimension. A 4, for example, is the length of this piece. And then if you look, for example, at this symbol, the circle with the slash, that is the diameter. And then if it's like, for example, not a full circle, you'll get like a semicircle or yeah, semicircle, it'll be different with an R. That's not important right now because we don't have something that says it, but just for future reference. And then what else do we have here? This AA tells us just a different view. I believe it's called auxiliary view, which is right here. So now that we have that part, we'll just look at it and we'll begin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be making its length and its height of this part. So I'm looking at it, I see this 4, and then I see a 2.25. So with that, I can get this rectangle. Um, it's going to be a 4 and 2.25. Another thing I should mention before, and I'll mention it again, is that these dotted lines represent that this circle is cutting through the entire piece. And you see it here with this little part broken out here. But yeah, so we'll get started. Go back to SolidWorks. Cool. We'll hit rectangle, draw it, origin. Cool. Gonna hit escape. Then I'm gonna smart dimension it. And like I said, we know that its length is 4. So a smart dimension, grab by 4. There's different ways to dimension. You can either grab the line and do it, or you can grab from side to side and then do it. Um, different ways. Yeah. I should also mention that the way I'm doing this problem isn't the end all be all. This is just how I'm going to approach the problem, but you can do it a different way. So yeah, so I'm going to hit that. Once we have that, I'm going to hit exit on the sketch. Then I'm going to go to features and extrude boss face. So if you look here, we know that the thickness of the part is 2, which you can tell from the top left. You can see it just in top left 2. Cool. So we'll go here. We'll go to extrude boss base. We're going to hit, there's different options for boss extrude. There's up to vertex, up to surface, blind, mid-plane, whatever, blind, and mid-plane. So yeah, so I'm going to choose mid-plane. You don't have to. I just find it beneficial. So I'm going to type in 2. And what mid-plane does is that it'll take your drawing and then it'll do whatever the dimension is. It'll basically split it equally down the middle. Or yeah, so awesome. We'll do blind, hit 2, cool. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out stuff, extrude cut. So what I'm going to be extrude cutting right now are this part, these triangles and the circle. Yeah. So I'm going to go to here. Yeah. So now when you want to do a new sketch, you have different options. We drew on the front plane, so you can draw on the front plane and you'll get a little icon that says it's like a grid, like a graph paper looking thing, and then a little star on the top. And if you don't want to do that way, another option is you can hit the face that you want to sketch on. It'll get highlighted blue, and then you hit that. So for now, I'll just do this one so people can see that there's a different way to sketch. So right now, I'm going to grab the line and I'm going to draw out a triangle. Awesome. Here, here, and here. And then I'm going to hit circle and then just draw our circle. It doesn't matter how you draw. It doesn't have to be exact because we will be dimensioning these things. What you should do, by the way, is if you're uncertain where you draw, you can do shaded sketch contours, which shows where it's shaded. You can have it on or off. It's really your preference. But yeah, so we'll start with the left triangle. If you look back at the part, we see that it is 1. We see that it's one of its sides of the triangle is 1, and that the the other side is 1 from the bottom. So yeah, that's how I'm going to do it. And then we can also see the other one is 2.56 from the left and then 0.75 from the bottom. So we'll get to that now. We will smart dimension here, make this a 1, 1, and then we'll smart dimension. But like I said, you can grab the line, you can grab the points. For this line, I'm going to grab the point to the bottom. And the reason why is because we were told that the triangle was 1 inch from the bottom. Awesome. And then we're going to do the same for the for the right triangle. And we know that it is 2.56 from the right and 0.75 from the bottom. Cool. Smart dimension by grabbing the point to the end. Awesome. We know it's 2.56. Then we know this is 0.75 from the bottom. Type it in. Good. You don't have to type in, I should also mention, you don't have to type in the units because since we chose the unit system is IPS, SolidWorks will default to that. Last thing now is the circle. We see that it has a diameter of 0.65, 1.65 from the left, and 1.25 from the bottom. Cool. So we're going to smart dimension. When you want to dimension the circle itself with its diameter, hit the perimeter. Like that. 0.65. Cool. Now, if you want to dimension where the circle is in relation to the box itself, like all the different parts of the box or the rectangular prism, hit the center point, then hit the side. So we know this is 1.65 from the left side, and then 1. Oh, interesting. That's not what I meant to do. We'll just hit Control Z on that. This is 1.65, sorry. And then we will do like that. Smart dimension again. Point to the bottom is 1.25. Awesome. So now with all that, what we're going to do is hit escape or exit our sketch, go to features. Now we're going to do extrude cut. Similar to extrude boss base, there's different ways to cut. You can do blinding through all both. You just see the different options. Play around with them on your own time if you want to, or just see how it is when you do this part. So I'm going to do up to surface because then I can, let's say, for example, I maybe modeled this part wrong. I got the wrong dimension. By doing up to surface, that means SolidWorks will automatically update where it's cutting to here, and I'll adjust to it. So this yellow is explaining what's going to be cut out. So for example, if I did flip side to cut, it'll keep the other parts, but we want obviously the triangles and the circles cut out. Awesome. Now looking at this part, what we're going to do is we're going to make this reverse J or like this tau symbol. So this one's a little confusing, but the way you can approach this is if you look at the top panel, the top part, top left of the drawing, we see that it's two rectangles. So yeah, so there's two rectangles. We see that it's 2.75 from the left, 0.5 height, and then the right side of this rectangle is 3.5. We see that the bottom rectangle is 3 from the left and 1.5 from the top. Yeah, so one part that what makes it tricky is that if you, for example, are choosing to sketch on like maybe this plane, like so if you want to sketch on a face, if you sketch on this face, while that's a good idea or a good attempt or approach, when you do the cut, it's going to cut at that angle. So it'll cut, you draw it on here and it'll cut diagonally or whatever this is. But if you can draw on the bottom, that's an option. Or what you can do is draw on the top plane, which is what I'm going to do. Awesome. So now what you do is you grab some rectangles. Doesn't matter how you do it, exactly draw it. Because what you're going to do now is you're going to do some relations and smart dimensions. So what a relation is, for example, if you hit this bottom corner, it'll highlight orange saying that's the part like what you want to click. Hold the shift key and then hit this one. These relations allow you to define parts in different ways. So we know this will make this a coincident, and then the black lines indicate that it's defined. And then what we'll do is we're going to smart dimension them. This bottom one is a height of 1.5, it's 1.5 from the top, and it is 3 from the left. Awesome. Yep. So we'll smart dimension it. We know that this is 3 from the left. Awesome. 3, 0.5. Cool. Escape. Now, what we want to do with this other one, we're going to do another relation. We'll click it, shift, hold the line, hit the other line, and this one we want to do collinear. Then we're going to smart dimension everything. We know this one is 0.5. Different options of smart dimensioning, obviously clicking a line or hitting these two lines. I'll just do these two lines to show 0.5. Then we know this one is, from here, we know it's 2.75. And then this one is 3.5. Awesome. Now that all of it's defined, what you're going to do is you're going to exit, features, extrude cut again. Let's see. So this time you can do different amounts depending on where you drew it. If you drew it on the bottom, you can do it through all. But since I did it through a plane, I'm going to do through all both. So it cuts through both sides. And then we'll hit check. Awesome. Now that we have this tau slash reverse J looking thing, you can see here that there's a little like divot. You can see here clearly, and you can see here. There's different ways you can approach this. You can either draw the entire thing or do something called offset entities. And it tells you that um, this drawing can kind of hints to that offsetting entities because it says offset by 0.09 tip, TYP, typical. So that just means typical of whatever unit system you're using. And in this case, it's IPS inches, so you will be doing 0.09 inches. So here, what you do is, if you go look here, you highlight the face, the tau, hit sketch, and what you can do is if you look at the top, you hit offset entities. This yellow line indicates where it's going to be. What we want to do is reverse it, change the dimension to 0.09. Awesome. Now that that's the case, we'll hit check to automatically define, hit exit. What you now want to do is go to features, extrude cut, hit the cut, um, hit blind this time, and then you want to do 0.05. And the reason why we do 0.05 is if you look here, we see that it says 0.05. Awesome, 0.05. Cool. Hit check. Now that we can see that's the divot. So we think we're almost done. We just have a couple more things to do. So we just have this last one of this little rectangle part cut out on the one side. So what you can do, there's different options. You can either draw on the plane, the right plane, or if you click this face, hit sketch. Awesome. Draw a rectangle. Doesn't exactly matter how you do it. Like you will be defining everything. So we see that two of the lines are defined. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a relation of this line shift to this line and make them collinear. So we have three of the lines defined, and the last one is smart dimensioning it to point one to 0.5. And where we get this 0.5 is, if you look here on this side. Awesome. So I hit check, features, extrude cut. We will just do uh, up to surface, this time up to here. Cool. Now that you have the entire thing defined, we have to just do the last part, which is determining its material type and material, and then figure out its density and mass. So we go here. You go to the feature tree, you'll see something called material not specified. Right click that, and you hit edit material. Once you hit that, it'll load up this option. So you can type in oak, and it'll click on it, and then hit apply. It'll apply it. You get that. Awesome. Now that we have the full piece made, you have to evaluate it. So if you go to evaluating it, allows you to see the mass and the density. So if you go to mass properties, we will see that our mass is 0.24 pounds, which is exactly what we wanted. Cool. So yeah, and then it also tells us the density. The density is 5 decimal places. But we only want 2 because that's what the question asks, and you can see that its density is 0.02 pounds per cubic inch. And something I should mention is if you click this options, you can change the settings for the mass if you want to. You can change the mass to kilograms, grams, milligrams, and then the unit volume you can change too. But yeah, so that's how I would approach this problem to solve it. Different ways like I mentioned earlier, but yeah. So thank you for watching the video, and I hope it was helpful.